it's Final Fantasy II. Boy, where do I start with this game? It's episode 100, and we're playing Final Fantasy II. Or 4, if you prefer to say, right? That whole naming thing, I don't need to get into that. Oh, it's a remake of that Famicom game? See? It's like, already! Look. I started a game the other day just to kind of get my feet wet with it. Just to, like, remind myself a little bit of this game. But it was like, I think we should go from the start, right? We should probably go from the start. Again. So I owned this game growing up, as did many other people did. I think the thing that actually surprises me the most about this game, after not having come back to it after more than 20 years, I'm gonna say, right? Is how much this game is like those NES Final Fantasy games. I know there's some jokes happening up here in my chat about like, oh, 2, but it's like Fonk, obviously, you're saying like a remake of the Famicom. It's like these games are a lot more like those games than you think in presentation, right? Like, just look at this screen, right? This easily could be a screen from those early Final Fantasy games, but with 16-bit color depth, right? I guess I should be reading some of this dialogue. Also, hold on a sec. Let's double check the sound really quick. It's a little low, right? It's a little low. Let's boost the audio just a touch. That's good. Let's go with that. A little less. Yeah, how about there? Crew's like, give us the crystal of water! Elder, what have we done? Our crystal, or your life! Cecil, you asshole! Never, says the Black Wizard. Then take the crystal by force! Oh no, those Final Fantasy wizards. Wow! This Black Wizard says. No, don't! Dare to defy us? Arg. Good night. Alright, take my crystal. You should have said it earlier. Oh. Crystals used to matter a lot more in Final Fantasy games than they do these days, you know? Why is the King of Baron doing this? Why do you pursue the crystal so eagerly? Cecil, you should maybe stand up for yourself rather than being called the Dark Knight. We take pride in being crew members of the Red Wings. Look, I like the Detroit Red Wings as well, but this is not exactly the reason why. Looting is out of the question. Stop it. Captain, I can't stand doing this anymore. It's almost as if fascism is bad. Possessing the crystal is an essential factor for our prosperity. Moreover, His Majesty judged that Mystidians know too much about the secret of the crystal. We are the Red Wings, the Air Force of the Kingdom Baron. The royal command is absolute. Man, fascism, huh? You translate the cult of Maple Leafs? So they're also terrible, is what you're saying, Fonk. The Red Wings were pretty good back then. Oh, don't you worry, Del Focus. It's almost like they'll make a 60 to 100 hour video game about that. Monsters! Take up fighting positions. Okay. Man, look at these sick-ass floaty eyes. I'm not controlling any of this, of course. Oh, that one guy ate shit. Ouch! Are you okay? More coming! Watch out! Love that sound. That sound is so fucking crunchy. Lit bolt. Great. Great. Oh, Mango and Scoops saying there was an entire Chris Crumb. I have yet. Mango and Scoops, we have to play Mystic Quest still, so don't you worry. One of these days. Everyone okay? Yes, sir. But there are too many monsters these days. Too many. Agreed. What's happening? Oh, well, whatever. It's fine. All this media from the last 350 plus years on how doing a fashion is bad, yet they keep doing it. Ah, look. I'll just, Megan Scoops, I'll quote one Austin Walker, who says, "Don't go back to brunch." Bygone. Bagan? I never know how to pronounce this guy's name. Oh, Cecil. Is it the crystal of water? The Mystidians were so helpless. There is so much lore they throw at you out of the gate with this game, you know? I forgot that it did that. Even when I tried it a little bit the other day. This game definitely expects you to have read the manual, you know? Which gives you a little more context for all this stuff. But also, the fact they're even throwing all this lore out was extremely novel for 1991, right? Games did not do this at this time. You know, games started like Dragon Warrior, right? Where it's just go. Do this quest for this king. Now get the fuck out of here and go grind for like 6 hours, right? This is like, what if cutscenes, right? So His Majesty summons you. Please come in. Right. We thank you for successfully completing mission. Now where is it? Here, my liege. That's how you know it's a crystal sound. Sure. Real crystal. Good, Cecil. You may leave now. Okay, well. Later. Contemplation, though. This was also kind of novel, right? It's like the sprites making little faces. Even if they're very small changes to the sprites. They didn't do this stuff really before, right? All they did was, like those knights up top, those bodyguards, just walk on the spot and that's it. Sometimes they'll say stuff, but usually not that much at all, right? Because you couldn't do that in the video games. There's not enough space for all that stuff. Oh, Cecil finally speaking up. Do not understand the meaning of taking crystals away from honest people. Disobeying me? No, I don't. We do know of your discontent, Cecil. You cannot trust me. I can no longer place the Red Wings in your command. You are dismissed from your post. Your Majesty. Also, it's, you know, look. Go and hunt the monster, or go and hunt the summoned monsters of the Misty Valley, and take this package to the village Mist. You may depart tomorrow morning. Ah, shit, it's Kane. Your Majesty. Cecil didn't. Nope, get the fuck out of here. If you're concerned about Cecil that much, go with him, Kane. Now, leave with the package. Oh, well. Alright. You get football shoved out of this room. Sorry, Kane. Don't worry, we'll put you back to band with the Red Wings after this mission. But, never mind. Go back to your room and take a rest. Now, walk in all directions, use the control pad, and talk to every person you meet with A button. Here's the other thing I forgot. This game actually does break the fourth wall with a little bit of this stuff. I love being like Kane telling me how to use a D-pad, right? You must be careful to not miss what they say. Unexpected person may give you information. Great. Now we're playing an RPG. Grid based movement. No diagonal moving. People walking on the spot. Sally Northwest. Uh-huh. Great. Fantastic. Hey, Kane. What's wrong? Oh, sorry, Kane. Oh, stop that. I mastered the Dark Sword, as commanded by His Majesty. But it was to defend and not to rob. My guy, it's called the Dark Sword! What? Come on! Do not blame yourself. His Majesty must have his own reason. Look, you start off as a cop. Your buddy Kane. Kane Highwind. One of the coolest motherfuckers in the Final Fantasy universe. He was a cop. They were all cops. What can we say? This guy gets it. I feel something strange about the king lately. Huh? You know? All right. Hey, buddy. Yep. Teaching me about switches on walls and stuff. Also, like this, you don't need to, you know, bring up like a list of verbs, right? You just press A. You just pressed A. That's it. I don't know. You know, this is the only menu you get, which is a classic, that we take for granted these days. You know? Otherwise, I have to bring up like a verb menu and say search. It's like, dog, I'm standing in front of this. I know. So, this is definitely one of those games where, you know, you search everything, right? The real fantasy is that cops can be rehabilitated. Unfortunately, it's the Final Fantasy adult focus. Right? Yeah, you're basically like the stormtroopers, right? That is essentially the Red Wings. Cecil! Oh. Sup, girl? Are you not hurt? I was so anxious. Also, to think that, you know, Rosa would be like way into you when you are the leader of the cops, right? All right, later. In here. Can't remember. Yeah, it's the prison, of course. Police chiefs have wives somehow. That's a good point, Scoots. What up, Sid? I love this version of Sid. More Sids should be like this Sid. You know? Big, bushy beard. You know, kind of like a tech wizard. How's my airship doing? What's wrong? What? Who's gonna command the Red Wings then? I'm not sure what the king is thinking. He ordered me to make an airship, but I don't want it to be used as a weapon. Again! Look, I get it. Fascism is a slow-rolling ball that once you're under it, it's too late. But, well, I gotta go home. I've been working all day, and my daughter is worried about me. All right, later, Sid. I've changed the sheets. Leaving early tomorrow morning, sir. Good night. All right, peace. Go to bed. Great. I like how he just like jumped in bed with his armor on. It's like, that can't be comfortable, right? Dark Knights, masters of the Dark Sword, do not get PJs in the world of Final Fantasy, you know? What happened to His Majesty? The crystal of Mysidia. Do we really have to snatch it from the peace-loving people? Never again, even if ordered. Who says it's wild to have the loud cuckoo clock right next to your bed. Guess they didn't have white noise machines. I guess so. Also, Rosa just busting in. Like, hey, what's wrong? You're not quite yourself lately. What is Cecil's self, right? What does Rosa see in Cecil when he is the leader of the Red Knights? Or Red Wings, I mean, sorry. It's like there's a lot of questions here that it doesn't answer, that it's kind of throwing right at you, right? Which, again, if you feel like you need the manual or something. In Mysidia, we had to rob from the innocent people. But at least, you know, there is some... There's hinting that that this is like... Yes, Fonk, I didn't know that. There's hinting that this is like, the king being mad is like a new thing, right? So... Oh dear. Like, I know this game got remade a couple times, right? There's a 3D remake that's out there. I know you can buy it on Steam. They also added a lot of that Final Fantasy Anthology series, right? Where they included this game. And gave it, like, CG cutscenes because Square was Square, right? I am just a dark knight with no courage to disobey his majesty. Well, spent too much time studying the Dark Blade. The real Cecil I know would never whimper like this. Rosa, what? We're going to miss tomorrow, right? Anything should happen to you. Oh. Don't worry, Kane is coming too. It's late. You should go back to your room. Alright. Take care. Back into bed I go with this big clunky armor. Still, I am just a dark knight, small bean. Just want to say, this music still whips, right? That's actually something that I forgot a lot about Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo. It's like, the music is still incredible, right? Let's go. Outside the castle is a city baron. Let's gather information and equipment in the city. Great. Just two bros heading on out. And late title card. Well, not yet. It has to do a little exposition first, right? This was extremely novel, right? Extremely novel for 1991, even. Thus, the Dark Knight Cecil was expelled from his command as a captain of the Red Wings. Steve Yzerman, no. That's a very... If you don't like hockey, you're not going to know. And he and Dragoon Kane left Baron for the village Mist in a valley enclosed in deep fog. Called Mist, what do you want? Airships had been a dream of many people. After the realization of the dream came greed and ambition. Interesting. Also, airships! Airships are sick! Through its fleet of airships, Baron became the most powerful nation. Why is Baron seeking the crystals? Why do the monsters keep increasing? Surely it's not related. People weren't greedy until after airships as still focused? I mean... The crystal was shedding its light silently. Mango Scoops, and Fonk, like that came, what? That came out on, like, wasn't the DS? I can't remember what that came out on. I want to say you can get that on PC these days, right? Anyways. finally in control of our fellas here. But yeah, DS or WiiWare or something. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think it's in. I think it's on Steam. I think it is. I'm pretty sure you can buy that. I can't remember if it was given much treatment or anything like this. After years. Yeah. That definitely sounds familiar to me. Ooh, look at these old-ass equip screens, right? Also, Kane, left-handed with a spear. Cecil here, just DK Knight. Cecil Harvey, big fan of Donkey Kong Country as it shakes out. Ugh. No wonder it became a Dark Knight. All his gear is just shadow gear, right? You don't gotta, like, you don't start with, like, a club or anything, you know? Also, you know, old-ass RPG stats. Look at all this stuff, right? Makes sense to me. Also, you can change forms, right? I find it really funny that, like, our on-screen... Don't focus. What? You know, like here, it looks like we're playing as Kane because Kane is at the top of our list here. But if I changed... change our form. And I put Cecil at the top there. Look at that. Now we're playing as Cecil, right? It's like... It's just a cosmetic thing. It really doesn't change anything. But like, you know, like all Final Fantasy games, like a row order matters, right? But I can't... You can't adjust them individually with change here. See, it's like... Just pressing that, it just changes their front and back row automatically. It completely depends where you put them. So it's always like... In this case, front row, back row, front row, back row, front row, right? So like if I want them both in the front row so their attack isn't down, you have to like alternate them like this, right? Which... Again, novel for the time, right? For the time. And of course, as we'll see, when we get into a fight here, active time battle, right? Also, I can't get in a fight to save my life. There we go. Active time battle. Surprise. Great. Great way to start. This music still whips. This music is burned in my brain for sure, right? Thank God these enemies are easy. I still love this little, you know, coming from the original Final Fantasy games. Little chink, right? And the sound it makes when they go down, the way they, you know, almost like the way their pixel disappears or whatever. It's a classic. Can't go in the weapon shop, if I recall. It's locked. Excuse me. There's Sid having a nap. It's the new engine he's streaming. Great. Anyways, obviously I could walk around the town a lot. You know, typical Final Fantasy stuff, right? But this era of RPGs, I don't need to buy anything right away. I know there's like... Go back here, it's like, hey, what up, old lady? Door at the west building, huh? It's Castle Underpass of Castle Baron. Weird. And then you go to every town, there's always a lady that's like, hey, want to see something? I don't know why this is here, but why not? Why not? Wow. Incredible. All right, later. Cool dance, lady. Later. And that's it. That's it. Let's get moving. I like chocobos. I like chocobos. A classic tune. How about this chocobo? Come here. Where are you? White chocobo. Great. MP recovered, even though we don't have any spells. A classic! The whole reason you got these is just so you can do this, right? Walk over streams and stuff, which you don't really need to worry about right now. I just want to hear the music, because the music is good, right? It's a classic tune! Alright, get out of here. Let's get through this cave, shall we? Misty Cave, indeed. Random battles, because of course. Fox says, I want you to know I'm playing Dynasty Warriors 7 Extreme Legends, and just completely knocked Lubu the fuck out on the first. You must not approach Lubu in the Great job, Tom. Great job. Gotta, you know, take Lubu down a peg now and then. I get it. I get it. Look, could I be doing Kane's cool-ass jump maneuver? I could. I could. But you don't need to. I've always been unsure if jump is actually, like, a good attack or not, you know? Like, jump makes sense in an active time battle sense, you know, in terms of, like, taking your character off the screen so it can, like, not get hit. Or if you want to hit something in the back row, right? Also, I just love that sound effect, don't get me wrong. But also, at the same time, it's like, these things die in one hit. So, like, who cares, right? But also, look at Kane's cool helmet, right? Shaped like a dragon. It's fun. Alright. Sure. I'll take a Cure 1. Not. I do wish the game explained the Dark Blade sapped health. Yeah. Again, you need a manual for that, right? It was a different time, right? But also, like, you know, when this game came out, I was extremely... It was right in that age of being super excited to read the game manual, right? Like, I got this game as a rental first before I bought it. And I was just as excited with that rental to read the manual out of the box, right? But also, yeah, it was a different time, right? It was a different time, so... It's like, nowadays, you've got to put that shit in-game, right? And even then, like, who's going to open that up before they play the game, even if you do put it, like... make the manual something you can browse, like, off the menu or something. In that case, you just have digital manuals where it's like you just have to put help sections into your game now, right? So, I get it. I kind of get it. Go back! Who is it? I could say. Fuck, that's why I was, like, very surprised how much Earthbound does tutorializing in the game, right? Like, even for like a game that is especially different than your typical RPG fare, right? That's why I thought it was, like, quite novel the way that game, like, you choose help over basically any item. It's still, you know, it's not all the way there in terms of giving help where it needs to, and I've criticized that, obviously, when I play that game. But, like, these games, like, not a chance, right? I find it funny, even, that, you know, like I said earlier, like, Kane even's like, use the D-pad to move around, and press A to inspect or talk to people, and da-da-da-da. We are just coasting through all this stuff, obviously. This opening dungeon, obviously not that difficult. Which is on purpose, right? Leave now. Is it a monster? It's just the mist, dude. Don't worry about it. One's from Baron. Who are you? Turn now, and I will not harm you. Show up. There's some translation here that could be a little bit better, right? It's fine for the most part, but it's a little funny. You still wish to go on? Yeah. We must deliver this package to the Village of Mist. I'm not going to look inside and see what it is, but we got to do this. It's the job. Then I must. Mist is gathering. All right, here we go. First time we do a boss battle, right? Demist! Sure, right? Sure. Later. Right. It's funny, when I was a kid, obviously I knew of active time battle. It was in the manual, the way it was explained. It made sense. But, like, not having anything on screen to tell you that, obviously that wasn't something they put into Final Fantasy VI, right? Oh no, turn into mist! Obviously here, if I do an attack... Cold mist! So don't do that, right? Do not fight now! Again, novel stuff! Fighting when mist will freeze you with breath. This was novel at the time, right? This was extremely novel at the time. Having, like, unique mechanics like this. Just wait. Oh, I should choose parry. I forgot. Yeah. Now get ready to fight. I don't think I need to pick parry, actually. Hold on. Let's rewind. I think if I just wait, right? Because, like, technically time is moving. Yes, there we go. Yeah, time is moving when you're in the menu, when you're, sorry, sitting on top of the menu like that, but it's not moving when I'm, like, in my item menus, right? Ow. Come on. Should be dead soon. I think. Come on. You know, we don't have any spells or anything like that yet, but it was also novel at the time to make it so that, like, spells had, like, a longer charge time, right? Oh no, that's not good. Well, you know, sometimes you can't control that, right? Because, again, not seeing, like, the time bar kind of leaves some ambiguity around, like, how much time it actually takes to do stuff. As I was saying, with, like, spells and stuff that I'll get later, like, charging a low-level spell is a lot faster to do than, like, a higher-level one, right? Or, like, you know, casting Meteor or something crazy like that will take, obviously, longer than Fire 1, right? There we go. In-game level, right? I could heal up and stuff, but whatever. Don't need to. Alright, let's go into this town. Surely nothing bad will happen here in the Village of Mist. The package opened automatically. Uh-oh. Just a bunch of cool little guys. Right? Well. That's probably bad. That's probably bad. We brought this package to burn the village. Why? Like, the amount of Cecil and Kane being like, oh no, are we the bad guys? It's so real in the opening hour or so of this game, right? Mommy, mommy, who's that? My mom's dragon fell, so my mom did too. I've heard of the people with the power to summon monsters. They are the Callers. Capital C on them. We defeated the dragon, so her mother is gone also. Oops. Perhaps a mist dragon? Oops. These two doofuses looking at her and be like, You've beaten my mother's dragon. You didn't mean to do this to your mother. His Majesty wanted to wipe out the Callers of this village and used us to do it. No shit, my dudes. Incredible! I'm afraid we must do away with her too. Goddamn, Kane. She's just a kid. You dare to renounce your loyalty to His Majesty? Forget it! Never again will I follow such an order. Wow, Cecil. Well, Cecil, I knew you'd say so. I won't let you do it alone. I owe His Majesty much. Still, I cannot disgrace the Dragoons. But Baron is the mightiest country in the world. It's impossible for us to challenge his might alone. We must gather other countries. And you know, we must rescue Rosa. Ah, thank you, Kane. Not for your sake. Well, get out of here fast. What about the girl? We can't leave her here alone. Listen, it's dangerous. Come with us, okay? Even though we might have murdered your mom. No, she says. Let's take her. Good Lord, Kane, relax. Wait, please. I mean, this girl's right. And now? Well. Oh, shit! Well, R.I.P. Dylan says, well, that's why you have two parents. Why not more than two? You know? I don't know what happens in the Village of Mist. Could be a lot of co-parenting. Could be a lot of, you know. Could be a lot of families that are, you know, non-monogamous. Who could say? Oh, she's all right. Kane! Where'd he go? He's under a rock. Yeah, that's how it was done in pre-20th century time. Who could say what century does this? Who could say? Can't stay here any longer. I have to escape from Baron with this girl. Well, we're officially kidnappers now. Back into the open world. Okay, we have her life back. That's fine. Well, also murderers. Yeah, that much was given. Get on the Sandmans. So kidnapping Resident Evil 8. I mean, hey, yeah, it's like in for $1, you know. In for £1. In for Looney, in for Tooney? Sure. Sure, don't focus. This game still has a lot of grinding, right? Did I not take that heal? What happened? Did I... Oh, I just didn't hit the right button when I take all. We're fine. I want to say there's... Where is the city? Actually, I think it might be more in the middle of the desert. no. Things aren't going down in one hit anymore. Okay, that'll help. So obviously right now I've got things on the default settings for the ATB, right? You could turn it up. It would make, like, you know, fights like this go faster, for sure. Otherwise, you know, you're doing a lot of waiting when it comes to ATB, right? Arguably, I used to play this game on the slowest speed, just because, you know, it gives you more time to get your actions in and stuff. But I also was a child that had all the time in the world, right? To do something like that. So, like, arguably speaking, yeah, putting it on fast is the way to go. But also, you actually make this game a lot harder putting it on fast. It's kind of funny that way, right? Because, like, there are going to be moments where it's like, actually, you know what, let's do it. Just so you can see the comparison, right? There's going to be moments where, like, you have to actually be very mindful of, like, how time is passing. Because, you know, like that last Mist Dragon fight, the battles will get more complicated than that, where, you know, taking the right kinds of actions at the right time will matter. In fact, I want to say, like, some things might be impossible to do, even with with this being at the fastest speed for fights. Like, in some cases, you'll just have to, like, dispel things like shields. You'll have to, like, make sure you get certain kinds of attacks in. Like, I always think about, there's, like, a boss where you have to hit it with, like, a lightning spell, because it's, like, a water-based boss encounter. And you have to hit it with, like, a lightning spell to, like, basically dispel it, so you can do, like, another kind of attack on it, right? And in some cases, if you have the battle speed all the way up, you might not be able to get any attacks in after your turn of getting a lightning spell in, right? So, like, that's kind of one of the funny things about that ATB system, but it's also, like, very unique at the time for RPGs, right? And that's also, like, something I think a lot about when it comes to this game. It's just, like, this game is pretty straightforward, all told. Kel Kiki, how's it going? Good to see you. Fun Dead Train, first time chatter. Hello, welcome. Retro Chris, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks again for the raid. Thanks for the follow as well, Fun Dead Train. Very, very cool of you to join on in, of course. Welcome. My name is RJ Lee. I'm playing Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo. I've not seen this game in a bit. Super tired today? That makes both of us. Officer, I finally found you, Cecil. Wait! His Majesty decided that the Callers of Mist are too dangerous to be left alive. Hand her over. Nah, son. It's time to fight. And by that I mean, it's the only thing I can do. I don't have any spells, so. Burn the casting. Did you have the genre? I did. I didn't get it. You know, my job review was from last week, and then I just got notification yesterday that I didn't get it. But, you know, keep on keeping on, right? Alright, we beat up this guy's bad guys. Don't worry about it, Berman. It's all good. I thought it went pretty well, but, you know, competition out there is really hard, so I get it. Just gotta keep on trying. Did I get you in trouble? I'm sorry. She doesn't have to be sorry. We might have killed your mom, little girl. Don't... Yeah. It's for me to apologize. I know you can't forgive me, but you protected me. Oh no, the Stockholm Syndrome is already setting in. I'm Rydia. That's how people pronounce this name, right? Rydia? Not Rydia or something else like this? Alright, caller Rydia joined. Bunny is a Rydia. What? What the fuck is? What? And yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. Yo, Kiki, by all means, thanks again for the raid. Thanks for dropping on in. If you gotta lurk and you gotta run, it's all good. Get some rest. Right? Put a link in the music channel. Okay. Alright. We now got Rydia in our party, right? I don't need to buy a carrot. That's fine. Let's look at her here. Let's first and foremost... Oh, there we go. Form. Put that there, right? Again, we gotta put her in the back row, right? There's cafe. Kaipo's special refreshment for desert perched throats. That's a hell of a sentence. A fabool, but a strange old man is denying the way in the Watery Pass. Let's say. That's all there is here. You know, if I was playing this not on stream, you know, I'd be more apt to, you know, talking to everyone, walking around a lot more. But, like, I do have a lot of this game memorized, right? So, like, I know what we're supposed to do, generally speaking. It's like, oh, look, there's Rosa. I think that's one of the challenges with this game, where it's like, your desire to explore kind of the things that are outside of the main path of Final Fantasy II. It's going to vary. Obviously, it's your first time playing. But this game is very linear, all told. There's not a lot of variation to pathways. You know, it's like, that's why Final Fantasy VI hits as hard as it does, right? Because it throws all the different characters at you, things like, you know, you're bouncing around a lot more. The variety feels a lot more intense in a way. Especially when, you know, there are moments in the game where it kind of cracks wide open, right? Where you get, like, the airship and stuff, which in this game you do too, right? But, like, this game is very straightforward, all told. And I feel like in a distilled experience, you can very much tell how much this game comes from its lineage of those first few Final Fantasy games, right? Because those games were also fairly linear, all told. Okay, so I can finally buy a bow and arrow if I wanted for Rydia. But, you know, I guess no, let's get her a staff. That's fine. Also, now that we're here, I think most people know you can do a item duplication trick in this game very easily. I can't yet, but once we get another sword, which we'll find in the next dungeon, we'll probably try it, right? Alright, so we gotta get the Antlion crystal sphere thing to save Rosa, because she's all sleepy. I want to say it's over here. Watery Pass. Okay, here we go. Also gotta level up Rydia a little bit. She's only got 30 hit points, which is not great. Not great. Also, I didn't mean to fight for her, but that's okay. Well. Come on. call. Hit him with the chocobo in the back. Look at that! Great. Great! You know? Look, summons were cool at this time, and they were not taking 8 years to do in-game, right? They were still really goddamn cool. Okay, good. Gaining some levels. Got some spells. Finally can do a cure. Thank God. MP is now 3 because I used it on the chocobo spell. So we need to get the fuck out of there. Get back to that inn after one fight. Shit. Well, it's just Sandman. We're fine. Let's power through this. Yeah, but think about how cool Bahamut Zero or Knights of the Round Table is. Yeah, look. It was extremely, extremely cool as shit at the time. And even more cool when you had to, like, when you did that, what is it? There's that one materia that lets you, like, mime, right? Where you can, like, do another Knights of the Round for free, right? Because you're just miming whatever the last turn was. Or you can also have the one where it's like, I think it does it like, do the same command, but like 4 times, wasn't it? It was either 3 or 4 times, wasn't it? Also, Rydia here is gone night-night. I think I can just bring her back by staying at her inn, right? I can't remember. Or do I have to, like, actually revive her? I don't remember. Let's just fast forward this. Okay, she's back. That's fine. Let's level her up just a little bit. You kind of when you master blue materia, I think? I think that sounds about right. Yeah, quad materia. Yeah. Actually, I think quad... No, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Because you, like, attach the quad materia to, like, anything, right? And in that case, it was like, you could attach it to a summon and it would cast it 4 times. Which is insane! Absolutely insane. Also, look at this giant worm. That's a sick-looking worm. Also, it's not going down. Jesus. Come on. Tornado? Oh, that's not allowed. That's fine. Match your attachment to something other than Knights of the Round Table. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I do it to something that does less damage, right? And then why wouldn't I, after I do that, Del Focus, why wouldn't I say mime, right? Mimic that and then do it another 4 times, right? Why not? I mean, you have to do that to, like, beat Emerald Weapon and stuff, right? Can't equip the quad? What? No, wait, you're right. It would only work with some things and not others. I think you're right on that. Oh, well, down goes Rydia again. Shit. Fuck, that means she doesn't level up. Oh my god. Hold on. Oh shit, I need to do this. Hold on. Black. It's ice. There we go. Hopefully it goes down. There we go. Let's just crime our way through this. Up here, right? Okay. Oh Oh no, pikes. I should really just be defending with Rydia. I shouldn't be trying to do attacks. They're always going to miss at this point, right? I also don't want to use, like, her spells quite yet. Just because, like, her HP is so goddamn low. Great. 6 damage. Just what I needed. You know what's stupid about this game, says Fog? The entire game lets you use magic on all by shoulder bump. Yeah. What's stupid about that? I think that's great. For the same cost, yeah. Yeah, it never tells you. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. I'm not complaining, though. I'm not complaining. You know, this game is not hard per se, but it's definitely, like, it can be challenging in the way that old RPGs of this style can be, right? Like, being able to play it through special Super Nintendos these days makes it a little bit easier, but it's still extremely one of these kinds of games, right? The big differentiator being that finally it's got some story in it in a way that's, like, kind of neat, right? The ATB system, adding further complication to the battles, so it's, you know, there is maturation here to the genre that is important, I would say. Great, we got a tent. What's up, old guy? What? You wield the dark sword? Help me, I beg you. What? A wicked bard tricked my daughter into running away to Damcyan? That's how I'll say it, I guess. And I sense evil in that direction of Damcyan. You must be Sage Tella. Just knows the name of this guy. I am Tella. I'm going to Damcyan to get my daughter who eloped. Maybe she ran away for a good reason, my dude. But a huge monster is blocking the way. My magic is not strong enough to defeat it. Dark sword might help. And this girl is a caller. She is quite gifted, I sense. We're also on our way to Damcyan. Great. Let's work together. Okay. Great. Also, the huge monster is anti-racist. Who could say? Who could say? Alright, now we got this old guy in our group. He's got a lot of HP, so I actually don't mind him being in the front row. But it's like, his attack is still not great. It's most likely Damcyan. I don't know. Maybe. I think he has heal spells too, right? Yeah, he does. I don't need to use one quite yet, so let's hold on to it. Let's go this way first. Some money. Strike first. No points there. God, his attack is bad. Great. Great. Did jack shit. There we go. Oh, you son of a... Russ, have you tried playing a cool Xbox? Not yet, Bonk. Not yet. I've heard it's getting cooler by the day from what I hear, but I have not yet tried. I've read up a little bit about it though over time, but not yet. Oh no, zombies. If I'm not mistaken, I want to just do... Oh god. Check this out. Yeah, just choose all, because why not? Fonk, right? Why not? And, you know... why the heck not? Get fucked! Right? Get fucked! Physical damage is not really easy on these guys with a sword. But with, like, staves and stuff, I think it still does okay damage, right? Or its maximum amount, I should say. Which is still not a lot, but, you know. I love this art, to be honest. I do, too. I think this game still looks fun, right? Like, say what you will about this era of RPG, right? I still think, you know, it's really charming. I love these character portraits even. I wish the game used them more, right? But again, in 1991, it's still early, and they're still figuring this shit out, so I get it. I get it, kind of. Do I even need to? I think I don't need to equip this iron ring on it. Oh, okay. Great. I need to get you a hat, Tella. What's this? Look. They're water-based enemies, right? So weak to lightning, probably. Probably. There we go. That's the good stuff. Don't get Tella in your group for a long time, so worth using. In fact, we'll just block. Or parry, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Final Fantasy II has a parry in it. Take that, Sekiro. All those parry haters out there. Is there anything over here? My GPU is 14 years old. Fuck, that's fine. I don't know. I had a Radeon 970 for the longest of times too, right? Like, zap. I like how that thing tried to use a healing spell on his friends, and I'm like, nope, sorry. Why is this thing not dead yet? What's going on? Oh! Well. Fuck, I just haven't looked into it because I've just been not caring that much, to be pretty honest. Gotta check behind every single waterfall. You know this, I know this. If you see a waterfall, you gotta go behind it, right? You gotta double check. You always gotta double check. It's the rules. Yeah. TLC knew what's up in video games, right? No scrubs and check your goddamn waterfalls. That's what all those songs were about, right? God, I bet Left Eye Lopez would have appreciated a Final Fantasy game. Are you kidding? And the big zap. I'm fine with using a lot of my MP here because we'll find a camp thing soon enough. Might do this again. Actually, get one of these water bugs for once. Great. Okay. So I want to get to the next thing. Looking for Retro Pals PC? Oh yeah, Retro Pals are calling soon. Okay. Yeah, later, Fong. It's all good. Keep trucking here. Let's speed through this, shall we? Great! You know, normally I don't mind the pacing of these fights. I'm still highly enjoying this game. For the sake of this stream, we'll use fast forward, right? Speed these things along. But like, you know what you're getting into when you play a game that's from 1991 and it's a JRPG, right? Like, you know what's up. You don't go into these games knowing that, like, oh, I don't know about the pacing of this. It's like, no, you know exactly what you're getting into, right? There is a template, and I'm not here to tell you that it's better or worse, right? I can only tell you what's been changed from its time of its conception and why it's interesting. And I still think this game is deeply interesting, but you do have to be into playing these kinds of games or not, right? They are not for everyone. I can only give context for like why they are the way they are, right? Fans of the genre. I don't like saying that, right? They'll focus. I think what's more important is that like why this game is more accessible than something like Dragon Warrior, right? And a lot of it is this. I should be skipping all this dialogue. But it's like there's so much more storytelling in this game, and that's what makes it really fun, right? That's what makes it way more interesting than like a Dragon Warrior. And the games that followed even Dragon Warrior on the NES, right? Like I think a lot of people don't know this. Final Fantasy II, right? 1991 in Japan, right? Worldwide, basically. 1991, right? Oops. Dragon Warrior. 1986, right? On the NES, right? Technically 1989 for the US release and stuff, right? So quite a bit later, right? But like 1986. So if we go here, Dragon Warrior series, right? Actually, I could have just gone here. Here we go. Dragon Warrior 2 for the NES, right? 1987, right? And 1990 for the NES. Yeah. Old games! Old as hell! Right? But this game, you know, these are games that you don't hear people talk about when it comes to their US releases because of how late they came out, right? 1988 in Japan on the NES. And like Dragon Warrior 2 and 3 absolutely introduced a lot more storytelling and like things that I'm talking about that are happening here on the Super Nintendo. But they came out in such a late time period. 1990. And the game looked like this. Right? It looks like Dragon Warrior 1. We're as far from Dragon Warrior 2 as Dragon Warrior 2 was from World War 2. Yeah, I'm not making that comparison. Yeah, Burmick. It's wild how old these fucking games are. Right? 1990. Dragon Warrior 3. 92 in the US, in Canada. Right? But 88 in Japan. Look at this cool dragon. It's a Dragon Quest, I guess. But look, the games still look like this, right? Still using command verbs for your menus to talk or search. You know? Final Fantasy did away with this shit. And this game didn't come out to the US till 92. Like, what? That's 1 year after this. Which is crazy. Right? To its detriment, yes. So, like, it's weird to have this kind of relationship with Japanese RPGs and when they came out in a way, right? Because of the way that they were released here and what it's like Dragon Warrior kind of like missed the boat, right? For the US in a lot of ways for 2 and 3 because they didn't think we'd like it. And then Final Fantasy blew up and they're like, whoops, well, it's too late now. Right? But, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole history of Japanese RPGs and stuff like that. Obviously, people have done that way better than I ever could. But, like, I think it's really neat to see the progression of these kinds of games and how they reflect to North American audiences, right? Anyways, Rudy is sleepy. She seems very gifted as a magic user. Proper training, she will be able to wield the magic other than calling monsters. Yeah, we already learned a couple. How sweet. It's just like Anna's childhood. We'll say Anna. Anna is your only daughter. Sure away to Damcyan with a bard. Ooh, bards. We'll get the proper slur that this man likes to use later. Because I did not consent to their marriage. Now, why is that, old man? What do you want to go to Damcyan for? My friend is suffering from a terrible fever in Kaipo. So you need the sand ruby. So you, too, are in a hurry. What is the monster of this cavern? It's a horrifying monster with 8 huge tentacles. What could it be? You must defeat it first to save Anna and your friend. Okay. Sleepy time. We'll get our MP back here, which is nice. I don't need to use a tent, thankfully. Which, again, another old Final Fantasy thing, right? You have to get, like, the save points like this. So you can save in the dungeon. Let alone, so I can, like, you know, use tents or sleeping bags in the next game. Right? Get your health back. It's Octodad, I bet. If only. Ice Rod, right? Let's put that on video. Over here. Should be the last... Oh, the last floor. Oh, look at these frogs! I think my attack is still going to be too shitty, but... Okay. Not so bad. Ow. Just don't turn me into a frog. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have said anything. That's why it happened. I jinxed it, right? Look at that frog! Damn, Rydia. You looking real frog today. think this works. Yeah. I don't have, you know, any items for that quite yet, I don't think. This is like before they had like all the very specific items for curing ailments, right? Shout to Jordo, yeah. You know, in like future Final Fantasy games, you would need, what would you need? A Maiden's Kiss, right? You need a Maiden's Kiss to cure the toad. In this, you just get a heal, right? Also, you know, the spells are called like Fire 1, Fire 2. You don't have like Thraga quite yet. And like Blizzaga. Which is fun, don't get me wrong. But look, Final Fantasy VIII made that change, and I still don't know how to feel about it. Asuna? Yeah, sure. And even that only covered like a few, right? I think Asuna only cured like... No! Like confusion, maybe? Or like a handful of others. I think maybe it like cured sleep as well. But it couldn't cure like poison. That would have to be something else. Yeah, no one's quite sure. And also, like, I never cared to learn. Because you know what I would do? I would go to the item store, buy a bunch of remedies that just take care of everything. And say, forget it. Or, you know, if someone got turned into a frog, you just cast frog on them again. Or toad. I mean, sorry. Cast toad on them again. And then call it a day, right? Alright, look at these secret pathways! Which, sure. Can I go this way? I don't think I can. Right. Okay, here we go. There's also another one over here, right? Oh, well. Let's zoom through this. I like how I can very faintly see the black outline of, like, this path that I can walk. There we go. Ooh, a leather hat. Let's do that to Rydia. And I don't, Tella doesn't have a hat, right? Yeah, sure. Here. Go nuts. Hold on. Double check this gear real quick. Okay. Ah. Get that over with, right? We don't need to be sitting around for that. Oh, wow. Okay, I forgot about these guys. Sorry. These tiny mages! They're a huge problem. We're going to run away from that, actually. Those tiny mages can do crazy spells that can really fuck you over. That's what I remember. So, just going to get away from that. Right. Oh man, look at these jellies. I can't remember. Do I have to like do a specific spell on these guys? I think so, right? Let's try ice. Let's wait till this casts. Okay. That didn't really work. Let's try fire. There you go. I'm gonna guess lightning probably didn't work. That's probably the weakness I was looking for, right? Okay. Heal. Surprised! Oh no. Also, there's a boss encounter coming up. We're gonna turn down the battle speed before we do that. Let's try lightning. Let's see if this works. Might as well. Yeah, I figured that would happen. Get cooked. It's funny because like they're red in color, so you're like, I don't know. It's like you wouldn't think fire would necessarily work. All right, we finally got another sword, which means we'll be able to do the item duplication thing later. Gotta get to a town first for that. And go out from here. Monster is in the cave beyond there. Should camp to regain our strength out there. Yeah. Ah! Hold on, I gotta take care of these imps. There we go. Oh! Goddamn random battles! Come on, there we go. Alright, let's use a tent. Get all of our HP and stuff back. There we go. Let's also save. Oh, right. I gotta change the battle timing back. Just leave it the default. Default's fine. Waterfalls. It's down there. Well. It's a big waterfall. Some new gear for Cecil here. There we go. Still the armor around here somewhere. Oh my god. Zombies! Should kill most of them, or not. You know what? Just parry. Still one more time. There we go. The fact that it doesn't cost you extra, right, is nuts. It's nuts. But I don't care. It's fine. This game is hard enough as it is, right? It's like, it costs me 5 whether I'm doing one or all of them, right? Yeah, it's magic. I ain't gonna tell you, you know, can't do that. So just like, it's fun to just cook these guys, right? I'd much rather the game be fun. Lake. Let's put that armor on. No item sorting in this game, which is kind of a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, what's that up there? Oh my god, zombies again. I think I can do this. Let's do that. This should kill. Maybe? Maybe. No. Shit! There we go. I'm willing to bet if I can't remember actually. If I casted Cure on those zombies, it would probably kill them, right? Actually, I'm curious. Hold on. There we go. Like, what? Curing zombies? What are you doing? Right? Yeah, look at that. I knew it. Of course, right? Of course. It's like a holy spell, right? Basically. Basically. Alright, let's get this over with. Do I need to use an ether on Tella here? Probably not. I think we'll be fine. Of course. Alligators! Oh my god, please. Ow. Ow. It's not good. These gators are tough. Not too tough, though. You know, would using lightning on these gators be good if they're like water elements, but they're crocs. They're made out of leather. It would just absorb your lightning, right? Ow, stop that. Why does this old man have so much more HP than me? It's a great question. It's all the ivermectin? Maybe. Maybe. Who could say? Alright, let's use some healing items really quick. I got a lot of them. I didn't even cure them all to full. That's fine. Okay. He's coming! No shit, dude. This is the pile of tentacles we just walked into. Octomom! Look, naming things is hard. That's the best. This old man doesn't like bards, so I mean, look. It's doing the music, though. That's all I needed. It's playing the good music. Right. Let's use lightning. Who's that ma'am over there? Yeah. My Austin Walker voice. Who's that ma'am? Who's that big man? Also, this octopus looks crazy, by the way. Thankfully, it's not a hard fight, but just keep zapping the shit out of it. We'll be fine. Alright. To my understanding, I don't think this boss has like different crazy phases in it per se. It keeps losing legs over time. That's about it. Not as cool as like an Ultros from Final Fantasy VI, but what is, right? What is? That's good. Keep zapping it. Again, if you came to this game and you didn't know how to handle like elemental weaknesses and stuff that is not explained, like you're supposed to be trying to figure that out, right? Like in a lot of ways, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth and other games, modern Final Fantasy games, kind of dropped the ball on it. Like you have like a scan as kind of like a thing to tell you what something is weak to, which is fine, but then you just end up doing that before every fight, right? As opposed to like actually doing the work of experimentation and figuring that out. I feel like early Persona games still kind of had that mystery up in the air, which was interesting. And a reason to, like, you know, explore the combat when you're doing so much of it, right? Now, was that fun? You know, I get it if it's not, so it's a hard thing to balance. In this case, like, I have most of this game memorized, so, like, I know what to do. But for a person who's maybe coming into it fresh, it can be a challenge, right? It can be a bit of a challenge. Like a lot of things that are very unexplained in this game. Alright. Got another... Should be a town nearby somewhere, right? Oh no! Airships! And, well... well... Ah, beans. How about this guy? Oh. How about this guy? They took the crystal! No shit. Yeah, it's all these people. Look how sleepy this whole place is. There's a pot of recovery above. Terrible bombardments from the airships. Yeah. This guy's sleepy too. Oh, a 10. Don't mind if I do. Uh-oh. That is Anna. Ah! Oh no, it's the bard. You're the bard. You did this to her. Writers, am I right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well. You swindler! Please, listen. Stop hitting me with your cane. You spoony bard! What does that mean? Spoony bar is an incredible phrase, but what does that even mean? It's a classic line. It is. Shut up, you spoony bard. Dear God, listen. I love the fact it does all these cutscenes in fights like this. This is a very novel thing too at the time, right? Please stop. Oh no. Like, Dragon Quest didn't really do that, right? It's like just a neat way to frame your cutscenes in a way, right? Father Edward is the Prince of Damcyan. He was disguised as a bard. But he was too spoony. I don't know what that means, but when he came to see me in Kaipo, forgive me for running away. But I love Edward. We thought of asking for your consent, but when we were about to leave, Golbez attacked us with Baron's red wings. I don't know anything about that. Who is that man? I don't know. But why? He took our crystal of fire, and Anna shielded me from the arrows. Arrows don't usually explode like that, my dude. You loved him that much. Father, forgive me. I love Edward. Oh, well. I'm sure she's fine. Just extra sleepy. Who is Golbez? I heard that he's gathering crystals using Baron's red wings. Sob sob. Stop crying! Your tears won't bring back Anna. Wait for me, Golbez. I'm coming to avenge my daughter. Wait, hold on. Can't go alone. I don't care. I don't need any help. It's my own affair. All right, later, dude. Tell a left. Well, no more cool spellcaster in our group. Ah, look, he just lost his daughter. I'm not going to judge too hard, right? Wow, crybaby. Get his ass. You are a man. You're a grown-up. You're not the only one who has lost loved ones. Yeah, I wouldn't. I had no hand in that. Child trauma. Gonna fuck you up. Rydia. You may be right. I'm just a coward, but I don't care. I'm staying here with Anna. Well. Smack! You're not the only one who is sad, Edward. Besides, Anna won't be happy if you do that. You didn't have to hit him, right? Like, you didn't have to do that. Rydia also didn't have to emasculate him like that, but... I am Cecil. I'm looking for the Sand Ruby to help my friend who is ill in Kaipo. And I need your help. Yes, you. She seems to be an important person. Shouldn't lose your loved one. Also very quick to help for a bunch of strangers. The Sand Ruby is made from the Antlion when it lays its eggs in the cave. The cave is in the east. We must go across shallows to get there. There is the hovercraft in Damcyan that we can use. Also go to Kaipo through the shallows. Great. Let's hurry. Great, we got the Spoony Bard. Alright, well. Oh. Goodbye, Anna. Sure. Oh, nope, now she's really gone. You know. All these other sleepy guys around her just having a nap. But, like, no, she actually did the, like, disappear thing, right? I mean, she's actually dead. Alright, now we got a hovercraft. Great. Great. We go along fun little rocks like this. So why not? Again, it's like Final Fantasy is steampunk, right? Kinda. It's kinda steampunk, right? It's got machines, airships, hovercrafts, right? Where's Edward? He's got a ruby ring. Of course, he uses range attacks, so let's change him. Oh, no, sorry. Nope. I'm gonna go form. That's right. Yeah, starting at level 5, so got some grinding to do there. Oops. There we go. Now he's in the back row, right? Back in town. Could buy him a bow, but no, we'll keep him using his music shit. Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this. Let's save our game. A classic trick. Let's get in a fight. Oh, wait, hold on. Ah, shit, wait, hold on. Let's go to items. Let's clear up the first 2 slots just to make our life a little bit easier. Right? Let's get in a fight. Strike first. Great. Got Cecil here. Let's go to our items. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I think I need to pick this second open slot. And take off... Take off this sword. Right? So that goes there. And then I think I pick this. So that goes there. Run away. Think. Go to a shop. Let's go to our items. Wait, hold on. Not go to our items. Go to equip. put this on? Yes, we have duplicated that sword. But I did something wrong. Shit. Now we have 2 shields and 2 swords. I think oh, no, I screwed up. This should be a 5. Hold on. So I'm gonna put this on, take it off. You can see it's gone. Come back. Oops. Sell. There it is. And go, okay, give me all that money. Now we have infinite money, basically. That's how you do that. God, that was a whole process. Jesus Christ. To recap, this item glitch is something that I didn't learn until much, much later, right? I didn't learn until way, way, way later. But, like, the idea is that, like, I did that original item duplication glitch to, like, get infinite swords. I didn't learn about this trick to get infinite money until way later, until I saw speedrunners start to do it, right? Which, again, come over here, take this second slot, put the sword you got equipped there. That goes to the first, right? Nope, sorry, I already did it wrong! I already did it wrong! Not that it matters in this case, actually. Take the shield first, then from there, go over to the sword, bring it down, click it there, run. Come back to the town. Go to any store. Equip menu. Put the sword on that you want to get rid of to sell. In this case, is our older shadow sword, right? Great. Put our shadow shield onto. Great. We have a second one, which who cares, right? No, I screwed this up already. Fuck. Why am I so bad at this? Put the shadow sword on and put the shadow sword back. Have it disappear. And then talk. Sell. Go to the empty slot with the sword that disappeared. And sell. There you go. I wish I knew about this glitch when I was a kid. Would I have been able to figure that on my own? No. Not even close. Right? Now we have an extra shadow shield, because why the hell not? But the idea there, right? It's like... the item duplication glitch, I remember being in like a Nintendo Power magazine, which is how I figured it out from there. But like... this trivializes much of the money situation, which, in my opinion, is probably the way to do it if you're playing this game these days, right? Is that necessary? No. Money's not really something that's like a huge problem in this game. The thing that's actually a problem in this game is, you know, the grinding, right? And if you're grinding anyways, which is something you have to do, you're going to be getting that money. So, like, it's really not the biggest priority to do, but it's just one less thing you gotta worry about, I guess, which is fine, right? Just fine. Alright, let's go to this Antlion Cave. Finally. Wait, it's not that way. I think it's down here, yeah. There we go. Like, is it nice that I don't have to worry about money for, like, buying equipment and stuff? Kind of. It's not really why you come to these games, right? A lot of the good equipment is found, not necessarily bought, anyways. Great. More money. As if I needed it. battles. I will say, like, you know, the art in this game still is great, right? Like, it's kind of half the reason you come to it. It's still exciting to see these sprites. I should have stayed at the end. I just realized. We'll be fine. We'll find a campsite. Okay. Speed through this. We'll probably play this game for another half an hour or so. We'll do this dungeon and we'll probably call it. And I'll just crime our way through this as quick as we can. Gotta rank it, right? Ooh, look at that. Red Imp Captain. Also, Edward's bard, like, I think that's the other thing that I find interesting with this game is, you know, you kind of leave the game up to choosing your party for you. You never really have to choose what your party makeup is going to be. And it purposely does that to design, you know, battle scenarios around it, right? Or sometimes it's not even just like your party makeup, but it's like taking party members out of there, right? Like to change what you need to do for combat. And like that's something that persisted all the way to Final Fantasy VI in a lot of ways, right? It's like purposely designing the narrative and also the battles to, you know, making your party more caster heavy or having certain kinds of spells, or in this case with Edward, you know, using Sing as a mechanic to, like, I don't have to for these really easy enemies, but like to establish different uses of, you know, of like status effects on your enemies. So I feel like in, you know, early RPGs, you kind of just choose to fight and just kind of do a lot of the same actions over and over again to just try and do as much damage as possible, right? Whereas this game tries to have a different conversation around that to make it more interesting. Okay, we got a new heart. Let's give that to Edward. There we go. Big worms. Heal them really quick. Alright, alright. Oh no, cream! I don't remember what spell I need to use on these, but let's assume lightning? I don't know. Great. I guess you just gotta match the color to the element. If I'm not mistaken, there should be... I want to say there's a campsite in here. There it is. Okay. This is a tent. So save our game really quick. Ah, jeez. It's pretty easy. Of course. Rydia is not someone you want to be using an attack with, right? I would say it's not until maybe like halfway through the game when a very certain event happens to Rydia, right? Where it's like, you basically can't use her for attacking until basically that point. I mean, you can, but it's going to be mostly pointless. At least these low-level enemies is kind of whatever, right? Ow. That's all there is there. Say that's it. I don't have to worry about that hidden path. That just loops this path down here, right? Okay, now it's boss time. So let's double check. Okay, we are. I'm pretty sure we're fine. I'm pretty sure we're fine. Let's go. In the lair of the Antlion. Uh-oh. Worry not. Antlion is tame. I will take the sand ruby. It's like, how tame can it be when these two giant claws just coming out of the ground? Let's go. It's fight time. Look at this gross thing. Oh, right. Anytime I take a swing at it, it's going to attack me back. So let's not do that. So let's use the chocobos on it. If I'm not mistaken, you can only attack this thing with spells. And then it won't hit you back, right? I can sing at it, which I don't think it's going to do me much. But I can keep casting Chocobo on it, at the very least. There we go. I don't think I'll be able to charm this thing. Not that I need to, right? But it's fine. I'm pretty sure if I put it to sleep even, it's not going to matter much for Cecil, so. Yeah, see, it's like, I'm never going to be able to put this thing to sleep, so it's fine. Just keep using our Chocobo spell. Easy. No problem. Can't be. Why did the Antlion attack us? We see monsters increasing every day. Tame creatures are getting aggressive day by day. It must be a portent of some kind. Of course. Nah, jeez. Password to that. I don't have like a escape skill or spell or anything, do I? I do. There we go. Let's use that. Quick way to get out, right? Oh, it only... Right. Last doorway you were at, so in this case... Shit! It's fine. We'll just fast forward our way out, right? Ooh, look at this. This Weeper looks like it's gonna, like, cast a really bad spell on me, right? Alright, we charmed the turtle. That turtle can attack for us if we really wanted, but... There we go. It's funny, when I was a kid and I played this game, it definitely took me more leaps back then to understand, like, the things like the status effects and stuff, right? Like, you know, you figure it out eventually as a kid, but it takes an extra step or two, right? When you're like, you know, when I played this game, I was, what, 9 years old? Like, that's a lot for a 9-year-old. It's a lot of reading for a 9-year-old, right? But I attribute games like this as to, like, you know, for becoming better at reading and stuff, right? I think the thing that I always try to remember, especially when it comes to older games like this, it's just like, the writing in it isn't crazy. Like, look, let's be very honest, right? The writing is extremely basic and extremely derivative and not a whole lot of subtlety, right? But also, like, when I was reading this stuff, I was a child, right? And this is, at least on the Super Nintendo, one of the first games to expose a lot of people to that kind of, to this kind of game. And that's kind of incredible, right? I think the way they tell a story is one of the coolest story beats in all of gaming. In what way, Ganj? You might have to remind me. Like, obviously, Tella, you know, trying to find his daughter dies, which happened, and a spoony bard eventually goes to a mountain to learn Medio, right? Or, no, wait, no, sorry, that's the other guy, isn't it? No, he tries to learn it from Fusroda, right? Yeah. He doesn't have enough MP to cast it, which is... Yeah, right. Okay, so I was not wrong on that. Right. So I was remembering that correctly. And then the twins, all that stuff, right? Alright, let's get back to town here. Like, it's cool for the time, right? It made you care about this stuff. Even if it's very derivative, even if it's very on the nose, right? You can say it made you care about them, right? It still worked. Hey, wake up. Is a sand ruby here? Use the sand ruby over Rosa. Wakey, wakey. Not only does he cast it, it cuts in a sacrifice, he turns into a, Wait, does he turn into a stone with the twins? I can't remember, Ganj. Again, you might have to remind me. It's been too long. Who is Golbez? The king invited him to the Red Wings. The king is not the same as he used to be. Seems he has nothing more than Golbez's puppet to collect all the crystals. Crystal water from Mysidia is already in his hands, but other crystals. Fire in Damcyan. That's gone too, sorry. Air is in Fabul, and Earth is in Tororia. I don't know what was that. No, Twin Stone, some stuff. Right, the walls. Yeah, the wall monster. Right. Telemedios to try stop Golbez. Right, and Golbez strikes him down. Right. Oh, no, sorry. He casts Medios, and it kills him. Right? Like, he, like, dies casting it. And it staves off Golbez, but only temporarily, which is the whole thing, if I recall. Right? My memory on this game is very vague still when it comes to like some of these plot lines. It's been over like 20 years since I looked at it, so it makes sense. Crystal Fire is already gone. Yep. Right. Next target is Fabul. We must hurry. No. Must rest. We'll go to Fabul. We must get over Mount Hobs to go to Fabul. The trail is blocked by thick ice. Right, you're gonna ask Ria here, but they're like, I don't know. It's funny that she calls herself a white wizard. No. Didn't dress like one. Right? That's the neat thing about this game. It's like, you know, it's breaking a lot of those tropes already created for Final Fantasy games from like 1 to 3. Yeah, and like people come and go in your party in this game, which is what I noted earlier, right, Ganj? Like the way it just like tell us, just like I'm getting the fuck out of here, right? Get out of my way. I've got vengeance on my mind. Move, right? And he's gone, right? It's like, dude, he was carrying like my stuff, or like it does not care, right? And mechanically, that's again what I think is interesting about the way it decides to uniquely create your party for you based on how it wants to design the narrative and how it wants to design battle scenarios, right? Which is cool. There's something about like, you know, not making it as crazy wide open as typical RPGs of this era would. There is something to be said about like making the narrative and designing the experience more important to the RPG than making choices yourselves, right? Oh no! Get out of here, water hag. Let me sing you a song. Then, like, you know, doing cutscenes like this in the battle, I already noted it. Right? I will always remember, you know, when Edge has to fight his parents, you know? Hell of a moment in this game. And, you know, some of these characters you don't even take with you to the end of the game. Arg. Later, dude. 800 experience for that one fight because I was able to overcome my cowardice as Prince Edward. Do not let Golbez have all the crystals. You love me. I'll give your love to all your people. Alright. Bye. Well, let's go. We should probably stop playing this game. I played this game long enough. I might keep playing this. I still... There's a lot here that I'm glossing over because I'm trying to play through this game quicker. Stream and stuff. But like... you know, playing it on a cool Super Nintendo, obviously, like I said, it gives me a few more things to help get over, you know, the hump of time when it comes to these games and the amount of grinding, which, I don't know, you have to grind some in this game for sure. I don't know how crucial it is for the full experience. I'm not running from battles, right? But, you know, I do think it's still pretty good. Is it, you know, when people talk about games like a Final Fantasy VI, like people say that it holds up, right? Does this game meet that same standard? I'll talk more about it a bit. Let's hold on. Trauma! Iridia's got trauma from the fire. She doesn't want to cast fire, which is crazy because, you know, she has all the other magics, but she doesn't have fire as a spell, right? Like when I was trying to like use fire on those zombies, like she does not have it. Tella had it, right? And because she's afraid of fire because her village was destroyed in a fire because of Cecil. Just fucked up. You're the only one who can melt this ice. Can't get through here to Fabul. More people will be in danger. Well. Great. Thanks, kid. And now we learned fire. Like, that's fun, right? That's just like Don just saying, right? Like, the way this game is interweaving its gameplay mechanics into its narrative. It's kind of cool, right? It's kind of really cool. No other game was doing this at the time, right? It's like, great, now she has fire, and it's way down here. So let's shift that over here, right? That's neat. Also, I guess I didn't equip Rosa with anything. That's fine. Of course, her being a white wizard, you know, care about that, right? Let's save. Let's call it there for that. Final Fantasy 2, right? That was about 2 hours worth of playtime, give or take. Maybe less. I did use fast forward a bit to move it along so we could try to see more. Also took way too long trying to remember how to do that item duplication glitch. But yeah. I still like this game. I still like this game quite a bit. I think it's a little hard to go back to than some of the other very well established lauded games in the Super Nintendo library, right? Like, you can see, like, again, like we were talking about earlier, right? You can see the progressions from the Dragon Quest formula. Dragon Quest. It's, you know, like Dragon Warrior, if you prefer. And I think narratively it matters, right? But it's still very cliche. Sorry, it's cliche today, right? But it felt very novel back then. I hate to call this game homework, quote unquote, as I've talked about like Mother 1 in that way, which should be noted, Mother 1, much older game than Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo. especially as to comparison of when it came to the US, right? Or North America, I mean. Because yeah, Final Fantasy II originally released like earlier, right? No, sorry. Final Fantasy came out in 91 for both Japan and America. I mean, Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior, those games all came out way earlier, right? Because of the way, we talked about it, of the way that they came out to the US many years later, in some cases 4 years later, which is crazy. Like Dragon Quest 3 coming out on the NES, like 1 year after Final Fantasy 2 comes out in the US on the Super Nintendo. That's nuts, right? That's unhinged. Like, who's gonna play that in North America in 92, right? When you have all these, like, Street Fighter 2 had come out already, right? You play Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Why would you play these games in North America? Why would you play Dragon Warrior 3, right? That doesn't make sense. And Final Fantasy was clearly, like, going to win that fight for, you know, that comparison. But it's still, like, deeply important. Like, all these games are deeply important to the maturation of and popularization of the JRPG, right? You don't get to Chrono Trigger without Final Fantasy 2 or Dragon Quest 1, 2, or 3, right? Especially when you look at the credits list for who made this game, for sure, right? So yeah, it's interesting to look at Final Fantasy 2 with more than just a nostalgic lens, you know? I think there's definitely a lot of things that maybe we don't think about today that we kind of take for granted, for sure. Like active time battle, right? Hey, Kremsaw, how's it going? Have you played it on Xbox? Replayed Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo? On the Xbox? On the Xbox specifically? No. No. I did have the Final Fantasy Anthology. Oh, they put it on Game Pass? Oh, I didn't realize that. Is that the 3D remakes, Kremsound? I'm gonna guess that's what it is, right? Those are also available on Steam, you know, on PC as well. There's not just on the Xbox, but you know, you can play it a lot of places, for sure. Neo Geo version? Man, Final Fantasy on a Neo Geo, that'd be something. That'd be something. But no, I had the Final Fantasy Anthology, right? On the PlayStation 1, which is the first time this game, I think, got quote-unquote remade, right? Yeah. This little series here also had a greatest hits version, right? And this game had a lot of, like I'd noted before, it took a first swing at some of the cutscenes. And also it included Final Fantasy VI, right? Which is neat. The fact that it has all that in it is that's a lot of video game in one package, that's for sure. Right? Also, no. This had 5 and 6 in it. That's my bad. What am I thinking of then? There's another collection, right? Here it is. Final Fantasy Chronicles. That's what it was. Sorry. Yeah. This one had Final Fantasy 4 or 2 for the Super Nintendo. And also it included Chrono Trigger, which also included the anime cutscenes that are all Akira Toriyama'd up, right? I had this package as well. I had both of the Anthology and Chronicles collection. A lot of video game in both these packages, right? Which is very cool. Holy Grail, it's kind of funny when you look at those collections. I want to say like a lot of people look at them as like a very playable version of those games. Some people don't like those games having those cutscenes in them, right, Crumsow? And I kind of understand why. Like, there's a little bit in that era, like post Final Fantasy VII getting really big, and then obviously Final Fantasy VIII becoming a thing. Like, cutscenes got longer. It kind of like changes the pacing a lot. At the time, back then, in like, you know, in when those packages, those anthology packages came out in like 2000 or whatever, like, we were eating that up. Anime was getting really big, right? 3D animation was still fresh in a way, but it was like improving, you know, by the generations. And like, it was cool as hell to see these reimaginations of these games. But there is something to be said that, like, playing what I played today in the Super Nintendo version of Final Fantasy II, it has its own magic too that gets lost when that moves to like fully 3D animated cutscenes, right? Like, I liked being able, and not saying that just because of nostalgia, right? I like being able to see Rydia go through the struggle of doing fire spells through the mechanic of her getting that spell back into her learned magic list, right? Rather than that being played out as an emotional scene through a 3D cutscene. Because it says something about like the way they're able to integrate like the game's mechanical bits into its narrative, right? Or like Ganj was saying earlier about the way like Tella casting Meteos in an actual like battle sequence, right? Like that worked back then and it still works today, right? It still works today. Making all that stuff just a 3D cutscene kind of loses a bit of the magic of what made these games as interesting as they were in the 90s, right? And that's, I would even say there's like a bit of glossing over the history lesson of why these games were cool in the 90s, right? I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying like anyone who likes obviously the remakes or anything like this, a rube. I'm not saying that, right? Like, they're still really cool. Like, I like if I'm using Final Fantasy VII as a bigger point, because those remake and rebirth are gigantic revamps of that original game, right? It's like both things can coexist in the same way, right? Just as much as like this Final Fantasy Anthology and Chronicles package should, along with the newer 3D remakes that you can like buy on Steam and da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm a sucker for it still. There is nostalgia there for sure. But there's also like an understanding of mechanical importance to why this game still matters without the 3D cutscenes, without the gloss, without the 3D remakeness of it, right? And when that's like my biggest fear that I have of like a lot of games doing remakes and stuff, right? It's like you're smoothing off too many of these edges, right? It's okay to smooth off these edges and give them to like a new audience, right? To like be able to enjoy these things. Hell, I did it with Mother 1 and you know, like I talked about like in previous streams, how it's like it has a run button, which it should have had to begin with. There's an easy ring, quote unquote. You know, it helps get over the hump. But it's like at the same time, it's like you have those things as an option, right? It's like having that stuff as an option to still experience the original game in its original form, to understand why it is that way, right? And also to have the new stuff on top that can enhance the experience for someone coming to it under a modern context, right? Otherwise, you're doing what I'm doing, which is you're replaying the old things, and you're doing it on like a special Super Nintendo, or maybe you're using fast forwarding, or maybe, you know, save states, stuff like this. It's like, that can be difficult. And it's understandable why, because these games were old, and they were designed at a very different time in a very different way, right? But at the same time, I wouldn't want to lose important context, right? Because if you smooth off too many of those edges, a person can come to these old games and be like, I don't see what's so special about it. Who cares? Right? And that's too bad. And that's not me judging people. That's me saying, like, of course you feel that way. Because too many of these edges in these remakes have been rounded off. Too much has been sanded off. Right? Different times, different games, right? And I think, you know, the more we leave, is more of a game preservation statement than anything, but like, and the way that like we ingest a lot of remakes these days of old video games, right? The more we leave video game history to the hands of corporations to do that quote-unquote legwork to preserve old games, the more we lose, right? That's why the Video Game History Foundation is important. That's why, you know, people looking to preserve this stuff and archive it to document the history, right, is so important. So you can see that context and understand it better. Now, is that going to matter for most people? No. No. Not for most audiences, right? Only big nerds like us. Which is fine. And too bad. But also important. Right? Where does this game go on our list? Where does it go? Let me copy and paste the name of this game first. One sec. Let's go here. Final Fantasy II, which is how I'm going to label it. 1991 in North America. I mean, it's better than Super Godzilla. Come on. Of course it is. Of course it is. Sorry, don't focus. It's better than Rama 1/2 Hard Battle. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. It's better than Zuto Mahjong, that's for sure. It's better than Rama 1/2 Shogi Rambuhen. Del focus. Sorry. Which also means it's better than Slam Masters. Or sorry, my apologies. I meant it's better than Ugi Janken. That's the one that, you know. It's better than Magic Sword. It's better than Uncharted Waters New Horizons. This game is better than Run Saber, right? It's better than Final Fight. Of course it is. I'm sorry, Ganj. It's better than Stone Protectors. Alright. Is Final Fantasy II better than Aerobiz Supersonic at number 100? Yeah, that is. Of course it is. There's too much historically important about Final Fantasy II. Talked about this. Probably not, says. They'll focus. What? You're going to tell me that cover of Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven is better than... No, the music is better in Final Fantasy II. Burmick, I mean... Wait, where is Stuff Race FX? Oh, it's higher? Actually, yeah. Let's take a look. There's stun ray facade. I mean, I tell you what, I think Final Fantasy II is better than Clock Tower, right? Clock Tower is very good. Very important as well, but no, Final Fantasy II is a better game than this, right? It is better than Out of This World. I'm not going to fight you on that, Del Focus. I know how much you hate this game. Right? It's definitely better than Arcana, right? It's better than Marvelous Mohitsu no Takarajima, as much as I want to play that game some more one of these days. It's better than Goof Troop. Man. It is. It's better than Stunt Race Effects. Ah, see? Now, Burmick, you're really looking to injure Del Focus. Final Fantasy II is easily better than Donkey Kong. Look, easily. Sorry. It's true. There's no minecart bullshit in Final Fantasy II. Come on. DKC 3 is slop. No, it's not. I almost said yes, even for the goof, but it's not, right? I think Donkey Kong Country 3 is fine. I just don't think it's good. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. Del Focus out here be like, get this narrative bullshit out of my video games. Throw me in a goddamn minecart and make my jump feel terrible. Give me those games. I'm gonna do this roll, jump off a bullshit ledge, which I can't even figure out where the end is because the sprite is drawn so poorly. Yeah, give me those games. Hey, Meyer Zoro, welcome back. Oh, absolutely it is. No, of course it's better. DKC, just the mines. Oh, the kids yearn for the mines, Burmick. That's what I'm hearing. That's sad. Sad. Here's actually an interesting conversation, okay? Is Final Fantasy II better or worse than Breath of Fire 2? It's actually hard to answer. I think maybe a lot of people would expect me to say like, oh, Final Fantasy II, like it should just go right to the top. It's like, I don't think it does. I'm not so certain that it does. Breath of Fire 2 is a very good RPG. Very good one of those. What isn't better than Final Fantasy II? I should also know, I've not finished Breath of Fire 2. I have for Final Fantasy II, right? So it's like a bit of an uneven comparison. Even I know this, right? I don't think Final Fantasy II is as good as Chrono Trigger. I don't think it's as good as Super Mario RPG. I don't think it's as good as Final Fantasy VI, right? I don't even think it's as good as Super Metroid or Gundam Wing Endless Duel. I don't think it's as good as Front Mission. Better than Mario Paint, though? I don't think Final Fantasy II is as good as Tales of Phantasia. I think Tales of Phantasia is very, very good. But you don't get a Tales of Phantasia without Final Fantasy II, right? I think Yoshi's Island is a better game. This is too wide for me to start questioning it. I think Kirby Superstar is better than Final Fantasy II. Remember when Yoshi brought Baby Mario that city and he turned into a firebomb? Yeah. And that baby was all like, "You killed my mom!" Jesus. Is Final Fantasy II better than Secret of Mana? I can't even answer this question. I haven't yet answered if it's better than Harvest Moon. I haven't yet answered if it's better than all these games. Jesus. Oh. I'm at the point where I'm like already weighing like legacy over or sorry, trying to weigh legacy versus like the thing that's literally in front of you, right? Like it's still a grindy RPG, right? It's using a lot of tropes that have already existed in other places, but again, it's still a maturation on it to push this genre forward, right? You know, it doesn't make you grind. Disney's Aladdin. It's true. But the squeeze is still worth it more, right, Del Focus? The squeeze of Final Fantasy II and what you get out of it, the music, the emotional moments of the narrative, right? Spoiler alert for 30-year-old video game. More than at this point, right? No, not 30. Wait, hold on. No, yeah. It's like doing the math in my head. I'm like, shit, wait. Really, like, Cain betrays you, right? And the twins saving her ass in the wall. I forgot about that. Golbez! I don't even want to say for people who haven't even played the game yet. Jeez. Wow, putting one of the best Final Fantasy games I have never played this low feels wrong. It does. It does, my Hero Zero. For that, I think I have to say, like, Breath of Fire 2 is not as good as Final Fantasy 2, right? You're right. It's better than Disney's Aladdin. It's better than Killer Instinct. It's better than Ogre Battle, The March of the Black Queen. It's better than Lufia 2. Ah, man, Lufia 2, though. No, it's better than Lufia 2. It is. It is. Did you think Riptor's story is? You tell me, Del Focus, what is Riptor's story? Other than he's a dinosaur. You tell me. You didn't weep at the tragic? There's no tragic Glacius. Glacius is just cool Iceman. That's it? That's it? Oh, sorry. Ice Alien Man. That's... Be specific. Do dinosaurs need a story? That's a good point. They've had 65 million years to tell me a story, Myra Zoro. I haven't heard anything. Ah, that's not true. I like Jurassic Park. What can I say? I was gonna say, I'm like, what dinosaur story do I need to care about? As it shakes out, one of them is pretty good. Is Final Fantasy II better or worse than Secret of Mana? Secret of Mana is really fucking good. Get that sick-ass dragon. It's kind of just a chosen one narrative, though, right? Like that's kind of what I really like about Final Fantasy II. It's not really one of those chosen one stories, right? Which is a really big deal. It's actually surprisingly a really big deal, right? You're not just the one, right? You literally come out of the gate with like doubt, right? And like character motivations. As much as I was joking about how, like, you know, literally in the first hour of this game, it's just like you questioning being a cop with your buddy Kane, right? Yes. Yes. Exactly, My Hero Zero, right? Games just didn't do that back then. And it challenged other games to try that, right? And that's important. That is. It's better than Secret Mana. How many games now make you play as a fucking loser for a bit? And not just as a fucking loser, because like My Hero Zero, a lot of games make you a fucking loser. But like are like self reflective to understanding that you're a fucking loser, right? A war criminal, yeah. One might say Spec Ops: The Line, right? It didn't take until Spec Ops: The Line to do that for that generation, that's for sure, right? Duke Nukem. Oh, jeez. I'm just imagining like Duke Nukem like self-reflecting in his stupid fucking voice. Gosh, I murdered all those cop pigs when I should have been blowing it out of my own ass. I'd watch that. Right? I can't stop thinking about that. Shake it, baby. But do understand, I hope that you have, you know, better understandings of why this relationship is not good for workers. Man, what if Duke Nukem became woke? I'd play that game. I would. I would play that game. I would play that game. I would play that game. I can't lie. Randy, make it happen. Yeah, exactly, Dull Focus. There you go. Let's rank this game. Jesus Christ. Is Final Fantasy II better or worse? TMNT Turtles in Time. It's better. It's better. That's actually easy. It's better than Ninja Warriors. It's better than Pilot Wings. It's better than Evo Searcher Eden. I'm sorry, Gonch. This game's pro tag as a cop? Yeah. It's true. Oh, Burmick says no. I sure like Pilot Wings. You're not wrong, Burmick. I think this game is... I think Pilot Wings is an incredible achievement. I think Final Fantasy II is too important. Or Mode 7 in Pilot Wings. There's Mode 7 in Final Fantasy II? That opening with the airships? Mode 7 right out the gate, Burmick. Come on. Get on board. It's also got airships. Does Pilot Wings have airships? It's a great question. What if Pilot Wings had airships? Oh my god. What if Square Pilot Wings mashup? What if, you know, instead of doing that parachute, that skydiving game in Pilot Wings, but instead you played as Kane Highwind and you're coming down from a jump attack. Oh, I would play that. And landing on a target that's like a fucking kobold and you gotta land on his head for like 100 points. I would play this. Make it happen. Someone do this. Someone make this. These are free ideas. You want to print, Square, you want to print money in Nintendo? Go nuts. Go nuts. Okay, relax now, focus. Relax. My Hero Zero. We'll talk about that later. I think Final Fantasy II is better than Evo Sorcery. I think it's better than UN Squadron. Let's be honest, this is just a really good arcade port. Really good. It's a really good shmup. But it's better. My Hero Zero. Do you not agree? I think Final Fantasy II is also better than Batman Returns. I think it's also better than Human Grand Prix. But does the buck stop at Kirby Superstar? I think it does, right? Hold on. Yeah, Final Fantasy II is not better than Tales of Fantasia. I think Tales of Fantasia is a much better maturation of the formula. Like, much better than like the other RPG we've noted in our list, right? Whether that means, Lufia 2 or Lufia 1, which we haven't even played yet. I've played personally, but I know Tales of Fantasia is obviously better than that. I mean, Lufia 2 is better than Lufia 1. What can I say? It's also better than Breath of Fire 3. But yeah, I think Tales of Fantasia is better than Final Fantasy 2. But you don't get one without the other, as I noted. Kirby Superstar. Is Final Fantasy 2 better than Kirby Superstar? I think Superstar is too low. I don't agree with that, but that's okay. Vermic, which Superstar? There's quite a few songs out there with the name Superstar in it. Like the ODB song? With Maya? I think it's Maya, right? Is that the other girl that sings it? You're a superstar. Something what you are. However that song goes, right? My Resort, that's because Dream Course is an incredible video game. I'm pretty sure. Also, let's be honest, it's not that far off, right? I think like Carpenters. I've not heard this song, Vermic, I'm sorry. But, I hear you. Like, let's put it this way. This game is how many slots off? 6 games away from the other Kirby's, right? My Hero Zero? The gap between these games is very narrow, right? 6 games, but like these 6 games are extremely narrow in terms of how good they are, right? As opposed to, like, let's be pretty honest, Kirby Superstar versus Human Grand Prix, the gulf is pretty wide, right? So it's like, it's irrepresentative of quality in that way that we're thinking, right? Yeah. I think that's right. I think Kirby Superstar is still better than Final Fantasy 2. Like that's like a. If I think about like what this game is at its core, it is one of the best Kirby games of all time. I can't deny that. right? Final Fantasy II is not one of the greatest Final Fantasy games of all time, but it's still incredibly important, right? I think its story is still really good. It's the main, it's why you come to the table, right? The thing about this game that I think befuddles a lot of people is, aside from the format of it being a Japanese RPG in this formula that is very grindy, I keep going about that, which we have already, right? Is that the story and experiencing it is the game, right? It is the game. That's why you're there, right? It's like, I think a lot about, hey, Miss Valentine. Final Fantasy II didn't have enough Titus, clearly. Are you a big Final Fantasy X head, Miss Valentine? That would not surprise me. I don't know why. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. I mean, a lot of people like Final Fantasy X, what can I say? Some of you even say it's the best one. I don't know if I agree necessarily. I sure am, she types. As I say in here, doing the ha, 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 like that laugh, right? A Titus. I can't even do it because it's too ridiculous. And then Yuna joining in right after, it's like laughing together to the sky, right? Hands on hips. Titus, I don't know. I say Titus. I think it's Titus, though, isn't it? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I never played Final Fantasy X. I'll be very honest. Titus? No, that's consent before you talk about Titus. Still focus. Oh, I know, my Herzro. It's just, it's funny out of context, right? That's the beauty of that scene. What was I saying? Final Fantasy II. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. It's good. What else I need to say? I don't know. I don't need to say anything more. No, I know what I was going to say. Right. The story is the game. The experiencing the narrative is a game. There's something about old RPGs like this that I think maybe gets lost in the mix of some discussion about people who like think too much about games and their mechanics. I think a lot about mechanics. I love video game mechanics, right? But games are not just that, right? I don't give a fuck what people say about like loot narrative, right? Understand there's more to games than just what is presented in front of you and how they fit together, right? Talking about RPGs under this light is very similar to the way that people react poorly to things like visual novels as video games, right? And I think it's important to keep in mind that experiencing a video game is a much broader concept than just pressing the A button to initiate an attack on an enemy, right? There's more there. Emotionally and also like conceptually, right? And I think that gets lost in the mix when it comes to especially these older Japanese RPGs or just RPGs in general, right? That are more about the narrative. And I don't like the way people frame a lot of these games under a modern context where games need to be more dewy versus, you know, too much work, too many, games are too wordy or they're wanting me to read too much. I get that. You're absolutely able to have that criticism yourself, right? You can have preferences as a human being. But to deny that has video games under this umbrella is dog shit, right? And to denigrate people for wanting to have games that offer that is dog shit, right? It's just not fair. That's just gatekeeping at that point, and that sucks, right? That's why I think it's important to remember that, yeah, like experiencing the story in this way and participating it under the umbrella of video games is still important. Okay, but how does it tie into the fun factor of the game? Okay, well, let's talk about GamePro first, No. I have a little, like, I have like a GIF of like the GamePro face, the GamePro faces, I should say. I haven't figured out how I wanted to use them. I thought about making them like my emotes and stuff like that, but I haven't yet. Also, hey Liv, how's it going? I think we need to be meaner to gamers, actually. I agree. I agree too. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyways, congratulations to Final Fantasy 2. I've talked about this enough. I think this is a fine video game. Is it a bit homework? A little bit. But I think anyone who is just looking for a good old-fashioned, fun Final Fantasy story, absolutely still worth playing, right? Maybe even go play those 3D remakes if you want. A lot of ways to play this game nowadays, but I think the original version is still good in its own ways, right? Still good. Whether you're using a special Super Nintendo or not. It helps if you're a person like me that doesn't have as much time as they'd like to offer, right, into the games that they play. I think it's really good, right? Anyways, let's call it for the Super Nintendo games for now. We'll keep streaming for a bit, but we can at least end this for the VOD. So hey VOD, let me talk to the VOD real quick, right? Hey VOD, thanks for hanging out. You know, I know there are some people who maybe like watch some of my VODs but don't like take part in my streams that are right? It's like I need to know, like, I don't besmirch anyone who watches my streams and likes to skip around a lot, right? I ramble a lot. Sometimes I just let shit play out as I experience the games, and I don't cut out a whole lot of content, right? But like, if you want to come hang out in this community, come on over to twitch.tv/RJLey and join my not chopped liver friends, my Hero Zero, who I think you might get along with, right? And it's a good portion of why I enjoy doing this show. It's because I have these people to bounce off of, right? These people. It's true, though. It's true. So, hey, VOD, come on over if you want. But also, to the people that are in my chat, thanks for letting me do this for 100 episodes. And showing up, right? Yeah, don't focus. I love doing this show, quote unquote, which I still feel weird calling it, right? But like, I think after doing it 100 times, it's like, oh yeah, I think I can actually call it a show, quote unquote, right? It pays us to be here. Not always. Usually it's the other way around. But yeah, thanks for letting me do this. Even for someone who calls themselves like a huge Super Nintendo fan, there's a lot of games I have not played, right? Super Nintendo. Earthbound is one of them, which we're doing the other series, da-da-da-da. But like, 305? Oh god, I just totally resized that window when I didn't mean to. There we go. 305? Yeah, 305 games later. I had no concept of how far I'm going to take this series. I still don't. 1,749 official Super Nintendo games. We've got a ways to go. And yeah, my heroes are, I think I saw you say it earlier, it's like, I haven't even hit any of the Derby games yet. There's a lot of horsies that need ranking. And we haven't even done that yet. We'll get there. As well as fishing games. We'll get there. But also, like, it's a lot of fun. And I am trying to be more mindful of the directions of which I ramble and talk through my feelings whenever I finish playing these games. That hasn't happened yet. So, like, I am, after 100 episodes, thinking of ways I can better formalize my ranking process, right? Because I feel like I just play a game and I talk through my feelings, right? And sometimes chat's in here helping me bounce off of and stuff like that. And if you're not, it's fine. But it's like, I'm just basically going through my feelings off the cuff. I would like to, I would like to make the science a little more concrete so that I don't spend so much time just rummaging through my ADHD, if I'm being quite honest. So, but we'll see. I'll talk more about that another time. Because also at the same time, like, I know I should be doing more like YouTube shorts and stuff like that for my VODs to like try to tighten that stuff up, right? Otherwise I end up talking a lot of circles, which I absolutely do still, right? And I want to do less of, is what I'm trying to say. So, welcome back, Tricky. Welcome back. Anyways, let's say goodbye to the VOD for now. Thanks again for letting me do this for 100 episodes with all the other shows I do and stuff like that. There'll be plenty more games to go down the road with later. But for now, let's say goodbye to the VOD. So, hey VOD. Talk to you later. Stay hydrated. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, of course. And talk to you later. Peace. Oh my god.